So Ugreen sent me a NAS, and I think that it's been so long that they forgot that they sent it to me. But that's okay because it gave me enough time to properly make this video for you. YouTube, welcome to Geek Shh. So first thing first, a NAS stands for Network Attached Storage, which basically means storage that's shared between all the computers on your network, essentially becoming your own personal iCloud without the fees charged by Google, Apple, and the rest of those cloud companies. So in the well-packaged box, we have a manual, a 2-year warranty card, a power brick, Ethernet cables, thermal pads, security keys, and the unit itself. Now, I believe everyone's first impression of this unit when they first pick it up has to be the same because you instantly get a feeling that it's built to last. It comes in at about 7 inches horizontally, a little over 10 inches vertically, and about 4,089 grams, which equates to a little over 9 pounds. So in terms of functionality, we have a USB 3.2 port for 10 gigabits per second, a USB-C port for another 10 gigabits per second, and an amazingly positioned SD card reader, which allows you to dump your data directly onto the NAS rather than over the network. Disk and LAN indicator lights, and also a power button. Now on the back, we have a HDMI output, another USB 3.2 port for 10 gigabits per second, 2 USB 2.0 ports for your peripherals, a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port, and a 10 gigabit Ethernet port. Now both ports are backwards compatible with 1 GBE, but the 10 gigabit port is also backwards compatible with 2.5 GBE as well as 5 GBE respectively. Then you also have a reset button and also a power input. So unscrewing the plate at the bottom of the unit reveals slots for 2 NVMe drives, which can be configured up to 8 terabytes, and DDR5 memory, which can be configured up to 64 gigabytes. Now already inserted is 8 gigs of memory, which is a lot of memory to be given as stock. Now, although I ran into no issues after populating the NVMe slots with 2 SN770 drives for read and write cache, it needs to be stated that Ugreen only recommends using drives with DRAM for this particular operation, such as the SN850Xs or the Samsung 990 Pros, but unfortunately, I didn't have any that wasn't already spoken for. Now, in terms of a memory upgrade, I was able to snatch up 32 gigs locally for $45, but it is recommended by the community to use the stock 8 gigs during your initial setup and then upgrade a day or two later. So I stated earlier that I was using these NVMe drives for read and write cache. Now, although I think everyone should use read cache, which basically means that it makes a temporary copy of your most accessed files so that you could load it up quicker in the future, I cannot say the same for write cache. Now, how write cache works is when you send data over your network, it writes it onto the NVMe drive, and then that drive moves the data onto your mechanical hard drive slowly but surely in the background. Now, the typical mechanical hard drive can do about 250 megabytes per second, give or take. So if you're sending files to it over a network via a 1 GBE connection, which has a transfer rate of about 100 megabytes per second, a hard drive can handle that. Or if you're using a 2.5 GBE connection, which is about 250 megabytes per second, give or take, that speed can also be handled by your hard drive. Now, write cache comes in handy more so when you're doing transfers via a 5 GBE connection, which is about 500 megabytes per second. A mechanical hard drive just can't handle that speed. Or a 10 GBE connection, which is about 1,000 megabytes per second, which is another speed that your mechanical hard drive just cannot handle. But an NVMe drive can. So if you're on a 1 GBE connection or a 2.5 GBE connection, then it might not be in your best interest to use write cache. It might be best to just use that second NVMe slot as an extra disk instead. Now, I hope that makes sense to everybody. All right, so Ugreen was also kind enough to send me over some WD Red hard drives. So let's go ahead and unlock the drive cages and then load them up. Now you could do up to 30 terabytes per drive cage, giving you up to 120 terabytes in total. Now, what I really like about these cages is that each one of them is numbered, and also loading the cages is a toolless process. All right, so let's go ahead and plug everything up and then power it up and head over to a computer that's on the same network. Now, before we get to the desktop, I just need to give you some advice. Make sure you're plugging your NAS into a UPS rather than a wall outlet. Now, the reason for that is the last thing you want for mechanical hard drives to do is to be shut down in an inappropriate way due to a power outage, because that can cause data loss. Now, the 4800 Plus hovers around 40 watts, so you don't necessarily need a UPS too powerful in terms of wattage. You just need to make sure that it has a USB port in the back so that you can plug a USB cable from the UPS to your 4800 Plus so that they can communicate with one another. Now, you can click the link on the upper right to see a video that I did about a year ago that shows you how to save a few bucks when purchasing your UPS. All right, so we're going to head over to find.ugnas.com, and that will search for and find your Ugreen Nas as long as it's on the same network. Now, what you want to do from here is make a note of your IP address. Mine is 192.168.1.224. Now click connect, then agree to the user agreement and click start. Then you can change your device name or leave it the same, and then create your admin account and password. Now you can create a Ugreen cloud account so that you can enable remote access, which basically means you'll be able to access your NAS from outside of your home. Now I went ahead and created one, but that was just to test it out. I later on ended up deleting this, and I will advise you to skip this process. But don't worry, because I'll let you know my reasons for saying that once we get on the desktop so you can make your own informed decision. So now you can choose your system update options. Go ahead and choose whether or not you want to share your data analysis with Ugreen, and then go ahead and initialize. Now it's going to take about 3 to 5 minutes for everything to load up, and then it's going to reboot the NAS. All right, so here's where making a note of your IP address comes into play. For now, every time your NAS reboots, it's going to increase your IP address by 1 digit. So before mine was 192.168.1.224, now it's 192.168.1.225. Now, if you're close to your NAS, you should know when it's ready to be connected to after a reboot because you will hear a beep noise. But if you're not close to your NAS, just wait about a minute or two and you should be able to go ahead and connect to it. So go ahead and increase your IP address by 1 digit and you should be able to connect to it. All right, so welcome to your Ugreen Nas. Now, first thing we want to do is head over to the control panel, network, and then network connection. And then you're going to edit whichever LAN you're using and then set the network manually. Leave everything the same and click apply. Now, what that's going to do is basically every time you reboot your NAS, it's going to keep the same IP address. So you're basically giving it a static IP address moving forward. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and click on device connection and make sure that we are not using Ugreen Link remote access. And let me explain why. Once you enable Ugreen Link, you are exposing your NAS to the internet. Once your NAS is exposed to the internet, people will try to log into your NAS. Now you can use things like multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication. Yeah, that's cool. But the fact remains is people will try to log into your NAS. Now, separate and apart from that, you want to try to put your NAS on its own separate VLAN. Now, if you don't really know what a VLAN is, then don't worry about it. The most important thing is that you do not enable Ugreen Link remote access. Now, if you want to connect to your NAS from outside of your network, aka outside of your home, then you want to utilize a VPN. Now, one of the most easiest to configure VPNs out there is from a company called Tailscale. Now, Tailscale is free for up to 5 different devices, so it's probably your best bet to set up. Now, please understand what I'm telling you here. I am not singling out Ugreen. Even if we were setting up a QNAP NAS, a Ubiquity NAS, a Suster NAS, or even a Synology NAS, I will be telling you the same exact thing. Now, the negative that comes out of disabling Ugreen Link is, on the Ugreen NAS, if you have any type of media file, you can actually create a link and share it with your family and friends, and they could download it off your NAS at their earliest convenience. Once you disable Ugreen Link, you lose that functionality. So you basically got to make a choice between security or convenience. The choice essentially is yours. All right, being that Ugreen sent me over 4 drives, I went ahead and put it in a RAID 5 configuration, and it took me about 5 hours to build the array. Now, the reason why it only took me 5 hours because I didn't enable hard drive tests. If you enable hard drive tests, it's going to take you about 20 hours to build a RAID 5 array. So just expect that if you're going that route. Also, I went ahead and used the BTRFS file system because I like the perks that come along with that specific file system. Also, when you're setting up SSD cache, make sure you don't max out your drives. I have two 1 terabyte drives, and instead of maxing it out to 1 terabyte, I put it to 750. If you max out your drives, then you run the risk of it slowing down your system. All right, so let's talk about a few things that I love about this Ugreen Nas. First and foremost, time machine backup. You can go ahead and encrypt your time machine backup on whichever computer and back it up to the Ugreen Nas. Now, you don't have to just do one computer. You could do multiple computers depending on how much storage that you have on your NAS and back them all up onto the Ugreen Nas. That's utterly amazing. Also, I love the fact that you could back up the gallery from your phone onto the Ugreen Nas, which will allow you to free up space on your phone while still being able to access those photos and videos that you backed up via the Ugreen Nas app. Also, I love the fact that I have the ability to edit off of the NAS, being that it's so powerful. So I could free up a lot of space on my actual internal drive by storing everything on the NAS and being able to access it very quick so I can utilize it with Adobe Premiere or Adobe Photoshop or DaVinci Resolve. That's amazing. Now, when it comes to the App Store, it's not a huge selection, but slowly but surely, they're adding to it. When I first got this unit, they didn't have a native Jellyfin app or Sand Manager, but slowly but surely, they're adding to it. Now, you can't really compare their App Store to other companies' app stores because those other companies been around for decades. So it's an unfair comparison when it comes to the App Store. Now, the Bear App Store is not that serious because you do have a Docker container app. So any app that you don't see in the App Store, 9 times out of 10, you could just build a container for it. Now, if you don't know what a container is, let's say you want to, set up a Plex server. Now, when you're setting up a Plex server, you don't necessarily need the entire Linux operating system or the entire Windows operating system to run that specific app. And that's basically what a container is. It gives you just the resources necessary to run that specific application. Now, the only container that I set up on this system was actually a Plex container, and it was fairly easy. I might go ahead and do a tutorial. Now, I did go ahead and do a Plex 4K transcode test on this 4800 Plus, so just look out for it within the next week or two. Now, speaking of Plex, if you think about picking up this NAS for a media server, I highly suggest trying out the Theater app. A lot of the features that other apps make you pay a premium for is already within this app for free. You have support for different type of codecs, including AV1, HEVC, and more. You're also able to utilize software transcoding as well as hardware transcoding for free. I honestly do not think people are giving this Theater app its just due. You also have the ability to set up virtual machines, which is basically operating systems running on the Ugreen Nas operating system. Now, personally, I didn't set up any virtual machines because I have a whole Proxmox server where I have virtual machines and containers on. So I didn't set it up on there, but this is a great way to virtualize some of those Linux distros. So why should you buy Ugreen Nas? The simple answer to that is because they sent it to YouTubers. Let me explain. When Ugreen decided to get into the NAS business, instead of spending money on ads, they decided to take that marketing budget and send units to YouTubers, both big and small. So what are YouTubers? We are content creators. So that means we will do our initial review, which will focus on the amazing hardware as well as the operating system. Now, being that we are content creators, we are prone to do an update 6 months after the fact, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, etc., etc. Now, that update review will bypass the hardware portion and solely focus on the operating system. Now, the last thing you will want customers to hear is that the operating system is stagnant, meaning that it's in the same place that it was 6 months ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years, etc., etc. So a company will not take this approach unless they have the dedication, discipline, and determination to make their operating system the best that it can possibly be. So that's why you should invest in a Ugreen Nas. It's because of the unspoken promise made to you by Ugreen through their marketing strategy to make their operating system as good as, or if not better than, Synology's DSM. Aim for the moon, you will land amongst the stars. My name is DeMarco Payne with Geeksh. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And last but not least, may a Ugreen Nas be yours.